If you're just the right type of buyer who wants to plug in their vehicle at night for electric driving but still wants the flexibility for longer trips from a gasoline engine, then the Lexus RX 450h Plus might be the ticket for you. But what sort of efficiency and economy can you expect when you're cruising on the highway with both electric and gas? Tonight we're going to find out. Hey everybody, it's Charlie from DM Moto, and tonight we've got the real-world highway fuel economy test on the 2026 Lexus RX 450h Plus. In this test, I'm going to head out on the highway and run the EV battery down at 70 miles per hour, and then I'm going to come back, fill up at the pump, go out and do 50 miles out and 50 miles back, averaging 70 miles per hour, to get a realistic fuel economy number for this plug-in hybrid crossover. But before we get started, let's hop out and take a look at it. This has been my favorite Lexus RX that I have driven. It's not an F-Sport. It's a very nice, classy, iridium silver, plug-in hybrid luxury model, giving you all the bells and whistles that you're going to want out of a car like this. Very smooth, very quiet, very nice place to be, and presumably, theoretically, pretty efficient because we've got Toyota's / Lexus's 2.5 liter inline 4 plus 3 electric motors and an 18 kilowatt hour battery pack, giving you just about all the flexibility you could possibly want in a vehicle. You've got comfortably 5 seats, you've got a decent amount of cargo space, you've got all-wheel drive, you've got electricity, you've got gas. What more could you want out of a vehicle? So if you do want to see more on this 450h, check the link below for our full pros and cons review. I also have a dedicated review of the Mark Levinson audio system, so check that linked below. Also, let's give a shout out to the video sponsor, LasFit. Speaking of doing all sorts of utility with your vehicle, you're going to want to keep the carpets clean if you're getting any sort of mess in here. So get yourself a set of LasFit liners like this one. You can see how nicely the trunk liner fits in all around here. Flexible but durable, easy to take out, clean off, put back in, keep your carpets clean. You're seeing the same thing around the interior as well. Look at this, nice tray style, so if you got snow, sleet, or slush, anything like that, it's staying contained. It goes well up under the seats for people's feet going in there. Center hump covered as well. And then getting into the front, you can see how nicely it goes well up under the brake pedal, over to the dead pedal, latches in with the factory floor anchors there. Again, tray styled right there. Check the link below. I can get you 18% off with our code DailyMotor or our link. And it's not just for the RX. They make floor mats for just about every vehicle. So big shout out to LasFit. Check the link below to get yours. So why do we do this test? Well, the EPA's fuel economy test, which gives this car, I actually don't know. I need to check to see if there are numbers on the EPA's website, because on the window sticker for plug-in hybrids, they only give you a mixed driving figure. But it's probably somewhere in the low to mid 30s because the mixed driving figure is 35. But either way, that test only averages 48 miles per hour. We know there are plenty of people who do bigger miles on the highway and would like to know what sort of numbers you can realistically expect here in the real world. So in order to test that out, I'm going to go out on the highway here at night when there's less traffic. I'm going to leave my house with a 100% state of charge. I'm going to go out about halfway to where the charge is about halfway depleted, come back, theoretically depleting the electric range. Then we're going to head to the gas pump. I'm going to fill the car all the way up, go out and do 100 miles, come back and fill up at the same pump using the same 3-click fueling method and get a result. Now, a few things to note for the test. Outside temperature will be about 65 degrees Fahrenheit. Should be a pretty nice clear night. Tire pressures set to their door placard 33 psi cold, fairly comfortably low number there. And we're going to run the climate control at 73 degrees auto. So with all that, let's head to the test. Here we are, we've got the RX 450h all plugged in, charged up, ready to go. 36 miles according to the vehicle's range estimate. Funnily enough, that's the same range estimate that we had in the Lexus TX. It seems to be more of a streamlined and less large vehicle, so theoretically we're going to do better than that car did. But we need to get everything set up here, so let's... Now this was a thing. I remember in the last Lexus, the TX, again, I didn't have a way to reset the drive info over there on the right. and I tried looking it up. It said you were supposed to press an OK button here that didn't exist. And then someone in the comments got cross with me and said, oh, you gotta do it from the center screen. You gotta go down to trip history and reset. I'm pretty sure I tried that. Come on, Lexus, any day now. There we are. And I don't think it worked. So we go here, vehicle, trip information, clear data. That just does this graph. That drive info screen right there, I have not yet figured out a way to do it, because this is the trip meter right here. That I know how to do. So let's reset trip B. That doesn't change the drive info screen. Clear the data out of history right here, the information. Oh, that did it. That did it. Okay, you clear over here in the history one. Got it. So that one commenter was right. You know what? Maybe I should go in and give him or her kudos. Okay, well that's reset. Is there anything else we want to reset in there? It's energy monitor. We got total average fuel economy over there on the right. So I think we're good. I think we're ready to get rolling. Drive modes. Let's do that here real quick before we start up the car. Drive mode, eco. Reset the GPS. And we're ready to begin. Oh, climate control. Auto 73. Okay. Off we go. Now, there are a few different ways to test plug-in hybrid vehicles. The reason we test the way that we do is because I want to know if you drive this like a full EV when there's charge in it, what sort of range can you expect? If I say my wife is a perfect example. She has a full EV right now. And if she transferred to a plug-in hybrid, she's not going to calculate, okay, I should use my gasoline engine here when I'm on the highway, and then I should switch over to battery when I get into traffic or city streets or anything like that. No, she's just going to hop in and drive it on full electric until it gets drained down to zero, and then she's going to drive it on gasoline. And that statistically is shown that that's how most people handle their plug-in hybrid vehicles if they charge them at all. So the reason that we test this way is I want to see, okay, if Alyssa were to take this car and just hop on the highway here and drive to work and then come home, if there was all highway, worst case scenario there for an electric vehicle, what sort of range can you expect here in the real world? And then that way, after that, you would know, okay, what sort of range and fuel economy can I expect just running on gasoline? Because say you were going to take this car for a road trip, for example, you wouldn't get to charge it up throughout the rest of the trip, most likely, definitely not throughout the day. So you're going to run out of your electricity and then just be running as a normal gasoline electric hybrid. So that's why we do our highway fuel economy test this way with plugins. But the goal isn't to hypermile. The goal isn't to get the best possible fuel economy by any means. So in order to do that, I'm getting up to highway speed here at a reasonable pace. I'm going to set the cruise control to a GPS indicated 71 miles per hour. That should allow us to average 70 over the whole test. Got some frighteningly blinding sun in our rearview mirrors, so I'm sure that is distracting a few drivers out on the road. Good amount of power though here from the electric motors. No problem getting up to speed. We are 71 on the dash, just giving us 71 on the GPS. Very accurate. So we're going to settle right in there. Use the active lane tracing assist, or whatever Lexus calls it. Let's get our sunroof shade closed here and see how quiet it gets. It's something I'm looking forward to. Just driving this car, serenity, peace, nice ambient lighting. All right, I'm going to continue on until the EV range is estimated to be about halfway down, and then I'm going to turn around and come on back so that we can negate effects of elevation and wind, and then I'll catch back up with you here once we are just about to run out of juice. "32 miles exactly, according to the GPS, when we are at 1 mile here left. So any moment, the gasoline engine should fire up. We should transfer it. There it is, right on schedule. So 32.2 miles. I would say that's pretty good. You know, the range estimate was 36 when we left, 32 here. I will say I did end up traveling at 72 miles per hour on the GPS rather than 71 in order to slightly offset the slower city portion that we had to drive from my house to the highway. Yeah, I mean, that's a fairly usable amount. It's a little bit longer than we got out of the TX. Again, makes sense. This one smaller and more fluid through the air. So now I'm going to get it back to the pump. I'm going to top it off with gasoline and head out for the gas portion of the test. Coming into the end of the highway fuel economy test portion on the Lexus RX 450h Plus. Seemingly pretty darn good figure here. Now, I will say I did forget to reset the fuel economy MPG portion when I left the pump. I didn't realize that that was going to be skewed by the electric only portion that we did. So I didn't reset that until we were already out on the highway. But it's given us 34.9 MPG according to the vehicle's trip readout. I would say that seems pretty darn good. The mixed driving EPA estimate for this car is 35. I'm going to need to check on the computer. You all will have already seen it at the beginning of the video, but I'm going to have to check in the EPA's data. Actually, I don't know. They actually haven't published data, I don't think, for this car. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to get a full highway-only, gasoline-only EPA number for this. But either way, the mixed driving figure is 35, and we seem to be hitting that. No sort of tachometer here in front of us without potentially changing the gauge configuration. I don't think I can do that while I'm driving, so sorry, right lane hauler. We're going to have to trust that this engine is at an RPM that is appropriate for this type of driving. Other than that, it's comfortable in here. It's very quiet, so very happy with all of that. Oh, and we're going to be running into a little bit of traffic right here, aren't we, because of construction. So that's the tough thing. When I do the plug-in hybrids, the test takes longer, which means I often run into construction here starting at 9 p.m. Bummer. But yeah, well, it's a nice place to be. The active lane keeping has worked well. However, I will point out that twice on the test, it tried to take an exit ramp. And it's like, come on, this is 2026 and we're still getting active lane keeping systems that do that. That should be a function that's pretty ironed out and coded away at this point. That's 10 years ago behavior. And also I had one instance where I was traveling in the left lane and all of a sudden it hit the brakes, or at least released the cruise control for some reason. It definitely started slowing down quite dramatically, so that was frustrating. But I'm gonna get it back to the pump, top it off with fuel, and then actually I don't think we need to calculate our numbers tomorrow because we used the entire battery, presumably. So I think we can calculate our numbers at the pump, so I will get back to you here in a moment. Although I still might calculate the numbers in the morning because I'm tired. Upon further consideration, we do need to calculate our electric efficiency based on how much electricity was actually used, because part of that 18 kilowatt hour battery pack is saved for the hybrid driving, not just electric only. So using my charger stats, I see that the car took 14.21 kilowatt hours last night to charge back up to full, and we assume a 90% charging efficiency at level 2, so 14.21 kilowatt hours times 0.9 is giving us 12.8 kilowatt hours that went back into the battery pack here, or at least rather was used to power the vehicle last night. So I think, I'm sorry, I don't have the footage right in front of me. I think it was about 33.4, right? 33.4 miles traveled divided by 12.8 kilowatt hours used, giving you an effective highway cruising efficiency of about 2.61 miles per kilowatt hour. And coincidentally, that's actually right what we're seeing here on the car, 2.6. So decent enough. I mean, still a little bit lower than you're going to be getting from your average compact crossover full EV, but not the worst figure for cruising at highway speed in an all-wheel drive plug-in hybrid like this. We are all fueled up, put in 2.956 gallons back into the tank of the RX. 100.3 miles traveled divided by 2.956, giving us, okay, a little bit lower than the vehicle's readout, but that makes sense because that didn't factor in the acceleration onto the highway the first time. 34 miles per gallon here, cruising on the highway at steady state, 70 miles per hour, with no help from the electric battery outside of the normal hybrid. No plug-in help here in the RX 450. And you know what? For this size of vehicle, that's not too bad of a figure. I'm totally happy with that. And you know, this has the great Toyota Lexus 2.5 liter inline 4. That is one of the most fuel efficient motors on the market. So no surprise here that it's getting a really good figure even in this larger luxury focused vehicle. We've got ourselves a 14.5 gallon fuel tank in here, so 14.5 gallons times 34 miles per gallon is giving you a healthy 490 miles of cruising range after you run out of electricity. So you should be able to do about just over 30 miles there on electric only, cruising that steady state 70 miles per hour, then switch over and do a good amount of gasoline driving as well. So better than the TX, no surprise there, but overall a fairly strong figure here for this one. So thank you all so much for watching. If you do want to see more on this Lexus RX plug-in hybrid, check the link below. We've got all that other coverage. Big shout out to LasFit for sponsoring the video, and we'll see you on the next one. I'm Charlie from Daily Motor, and as always, drive on.